2030, it will be 60 million tons of garments a year, which could reach a 100 million. So there is something that we have to be fixed. And also, in the other hand, let's next, the scale of the problems is not only in Indonesia or maybe in some countries, but also it's a global scale, which uh, yearly or annually, there is 92 million tons of textile waste globally. And also Indonesia itself, there is 2 million plus of tons textile waste per year. And 85% of them are end up in landfill and not discompose or maybe um, taking into something that valuable. So it is just something that you are throwing away and just something that harming the environment. So we have found this problem and yet there is no the solutions for it. So these things have to be our focus, especially as a youth and also someone that really approaches to the SDGs point. Also in the other side, fast fashion impact currently um, having production doubled since the 2000s, and also the garments use only 36% less time than the before, but the consumer buy 60% more clothes instead of just wearing the previous one. So the people tends to buy and buy, not using something that have been they had before. So this kind of cycles, this kind of mindset of the people have to be changed. And also this problem will be resolved to the overproduction and also the short lifestyle and also massive where every year will be 92 million tons of textile waste will be produced globally, and also production have been double since I've mentioned before from 2000 and also to 2015. So it has been a decade's problems. And also the root causes, why does it happens? Because once again, people tend to consume the things that are kind of viral right now. They didn't think about how they can use clothes or maybe something for a longer time, for a stable time. So in other hand, low cost mass production also will happen, and also lack of recycling systems. The people will don't know how to manage the waste. Also, the people will also tend to follow the linear economy model, which is take, make, and also dispose. So the key insight is consumption patterns drive the production systems. So from here, we could know that the root of the cause or the problems is from the people, from the society. So we have to change them first. So what is the solutions? First thing first, you have to buy something that you really need it, not because it is just trending or maybe it is um, impact on social media, and also reducing something that may be unnecessary, and also, of course, support local businesses, support local brands, which is there is a saying about like I love Indonesian product like from this logo, right? This logo you can find from any of Indonesian products. So definitely as a young person, as young people, we have to support this kind of innovations because if not us, then who, right? With this, we could extending the clothing life by 10 months and also reduce carbon emissions and also water and also the waste by 20 to 30%. And in other hand, I also have innovation where the textile waste not just taken away to the landfill, but also we are having this kind of waste management that called bank textile, which is turning waste into taste. So this is a system where technology met the waste management. So we are using the IoT system to manage this problem and also not discompose the waste just as it is, but taking it into something that valuables. And also we are collaborate with the local stakeholders and also local UMKM. So definitely we have to maybe apply this innovation, which is Bank Textile. So for the clothing itself, the future that we choose, that maybe by 2050, the fashion emissions would increase by 50%, and without action, waste crisis will escalate. So the key message, sustainable fashion is not a trend, but this is a necessity. So I think that's all from me. If you have another follow-up question, maybe there will be a Q&A session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Roman, for that insightful and inspiring presentation. It was very interesting to learn about the issue of textile waste and how fast fashion contributes to environmental challenge. Your explanation about the importance of responsible consumption and moving towards a more sustainable and circular approach really reflects the values of SDGs 20. We truly appreciate your perspective and the solution you share with us today. And next we have Haisha Alves da Costa Lima joining us from Brazil. Haiza is outstanding student with remarkable achievement at both national and international levels. She is a recipient of the IFS Global STEM Academy's 2025 scholarship and has also been awarded a CNPq scholarship for her performance in National Olympiad in Brazilian history. Additionally, she was invited to the 14th talent selection meeting by the Getulio Vargas Foundation. Hola, Haisa.
Hello, good night from Brazil. Am I audible?
Yes. What time is it in Brazil right now?
It's right now it's 11:40 p.m., so it's really late.
Oh, wow, it's already midnight there. We truly appreciate your presence and I hope you're still in good spirits. Okay, Haisa. For information, your presentation is 10 minutes. Haisa, you may begin your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Let me just share my screen. Um, can you see it?
Yes, Haisa.
Okay, perfect. So hello everyone, my name is Raissa Alves. I'm a student from Brazil, and I would like to start my presentation by saying that I'm really grateful for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk about the SDGs and how they are able to impact our communities. I would like to share with you a little bit more about routine and my experience developing a sustainability software prototype as a proposal to reduce heat stress in urban areas. So, just a brief introduction about our reality here in Brazil. So, as we know, with the increase in global warming, and of course the climate change, it is common that we notice a rise in temperatures. So as I was developing this prototype for the first time, I was part of the AFS Global STEM Academies program. And in order for the participants to complete the program, we need to develop a capstone project aimed at solving a problem of our community. So, as I was interviewing my friends, my classmates, my teachers, I realized that all of them were actually complaining about the rising temperatures. So, I decided to research about it, and I've heard about the heat stress and how it affects our life. Because it's not only about like feeling hot and feeling overstimulated, but it actually affects our productivity, it affects the air quality. So, it is present in many fields of our daily life. So I brought here some informations that might be useful for you to understand the Brazilian scenario and also the global scenario. So this graphic right here shows the drought seasons in different regions of Brazil during the years, which is not a common thing because if you notice here right in the end, you can see that most of the Brazilian regions are being affected by drought. And this is not a common scenario because usually this phenomenon tends to happen here in the Northeast region, which is the region I live. So I also brought this information from a report, and it's a very recent report that shows that the temperatures here in Brazil are all above average. So I just wanted to bring this so you guys can see that it's a reality that keeps going here in my country, because the first time I was working this prototype was in 2025, and now in 2026, we still have the same scenario. And going here to the global range, we have here this graphic that shows the highest temperatures of the summer of 2022 in the North Hemisphere. And here, some information from the World Meteorological Organization that says that 2024 was the warmest year on record. So I really wanted to bring this to show that the global warming and the rising temperatures are problems that we face daily, and they are becoming more common because of climate change. And so considering all of these obstacles, I started thinking about a tool that was able to reach all of these different scenarios and different realities, since it was an issue that affected people from different locations. And the first thing I thought about was the digital platforms. So I decided to develop Routine, which is a software that combines the digital platforms with the idea of the green walls. And I'm almost sure that almost all of you guys have heard about green walls. If not, they are this structure right here, and they have a lot of different benefits. For example, let me just put here. They are able to improve air quality, they reduce heat absorbed by buildings, they create a space of biodiversity, and they also have a positive effect on our mental health. Because when we look at a greenery for long, our brain is able to relax and to stay calm. So it also has benefits to our mental health, which is great. And the best part is that green walls are a solution related to some of the SDGs, like the ones I'm showing here. SDGs number 11 and 13 that works with sustainable cities and climate action. So I had this first idea of developing something to digital platforms, and I had the ideas of the green walls. So how could I combine both? And that's when I started researching even more deeply about it, and I figured that we can implement those systems in a simpler way through vertical gardens, for example. So thinking of that, this is the layout prototype for Routine. During my high school, I was a multimedia student, so I use a few digital tools, design tools like Figma, so I could kind of see how it would work in practice. And Routine is a software that is especially designed for implementing green spaces in urban homes. And it provides support for the user so they can obtain precise information and guidance on ideal plant species and how they can take care of them and all the benefits, because something really common is that sometimes people, they don't realize how helpful having plants at home, for example, can be, how beneficial they can be for our health. So the application would also work on that by providing the users with meaningful and valuable information. So just to give you a quick tour on the app layout, this section here will be the welcome session where the user will be able to find more information about the SDGs by simply clicking this symbol right here. and they will be able to find all the tasks they need to complete in order to keep their plants healthy. Because I don't know if it's just something that happens to me, but every time that I have a plant, I'm never able to take care of it properly. And the app would work on that by providing, as I said before, meaningful information. So it would also happen here in the articles and tutorial sections where the users would find articles to read and some videos tutorials for how to implement vertical gardens, for example, because we can do that through pet bottles, and we don't need to use expensive resources. And here we would have the main tool of the app that would be the add a new plant. So the app would ask the user about their homes, about the light availability, if any family member has any allergies. So the app could recommend a specific species of plant that are most suitable for their specific home and their reality. So it would be an application totally related to implementing green spaces, and that's what called routine. It's like a joke because roots by the trees and then routine. So I thought it was creative at the time. And then as I was showing my community members my prototype, I received a few feedbacks, and in conclusion, they basically said that the app was really efficient, but adjustments were needed to increase its accessibility. So in order to improve my prototype, I would need to add voice features, insert more illustrations, expand apps proposed to face-to-face actions. But in general, the main idea of the project was really good, revealed by the people I interviewed, including professors, biology teachers, and some members of my own community. So as a result of this development, I was able to demonstrate that digital resources can play a decisive role in mitigating negative changes. I presented the idea of the app during my AFS Global STEM Academy's experience, and the project was recognized by the University of Pennsylvania's Center of Social Impact. So it was really nice. And this is a picture of me presenting the prototype in the International Institute of Physics. Of course, that we have still a long way to go. We still have a lot of things to work on and to improve, and for the project to reach its full potential. On-person initiatives are also necessary because people, they need to know that they have this resource in their hands and how they can use it. But in general, it was a very meaningful experience to interact with my community and hear from them what they were needing and how could I help them through the tools I had. So it was a really enriching journey, and um, it was really meaningful to be able to help and to think about the people around me and to contribute somehow. Oh, okay, 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy again for being able to sharing this experience. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Haisa, for that insightful and inspiring presentation. It was very interesting to learn about your project routine and how digital innovation can help reduce heat stress in urban areas. We truly appreciate your idea. And now let us continue with our next speaker. Our next speaker brings another valuable perspective from Indonesia. Please welcome F. Analta Gibransyah. Hello, Gibran.
Hi, Kalinda.
Okay,
Anyway,
how are
let me
you
just first.
today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Kalinda, how are you?
I'm great too. Okay, Gibran, are you ready for the presentation?
Yes, I have to be ready.
Okay,
Okay,
for
let me just go.
information, Gibran, your
Okay.
presentation is 10 minutes. So you may begin your presentation. Gibran, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Kalinda. Let me just first share my screen. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and hello everyone. Hello, my fellow sisters and brothers from around the world. First of all, such an honor for me to be here to actually representing my university and also my country. And my name is Muhammad Anata Gibransyah. I am currently a second year student at Faculty of Law, Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. And today I would like to share one important message that youth are not only a future leaders, youth are today's change maker. And as we all know that currently we're living in a time where global challenges are becoming more complex. And at the same time, we're also living in a time where young people have more opportunities than ever to create impacts. And through the Sustainable Development Goals, because currently we're talking about the SDG, we already have a global roadmap to take action together, actually. And before we're talking about the solution, we first need to understand the one important questions. Okay, so why do this sustainable development goals matter so much for children and also young people like us today? So because in reality, many young people are still facing serious global challenges. Like today, our children and young people are among the groups most affected by the global challenges, such as first, across many parts of the world, millions of children still faces inequality in access to education, for example, and that is actually aligned with SDGs number 5, that is quality of educations. And second, many children continue to experience violence and also exploitations and discriminations as also. And it is also aligned with SDGs number 16, that is peace, justice, and strong institutions. And third, we also have to understand that there is a climate crisis or climate change that increasingly affecting vulnerable communities, especially children who often have the least protections. And lastly, in the digital era, children are also facing a new risks such as cyber violence and also online exploitations. And from human rights perspective, children are not only a charity objects, they are also the rights holder. And protecting their rights is not optional, it is a global responsibility. This is why the Sustainable Development Goals are very important for young people like us, because SDG are not only development target, they are also commitment to justice, equality, and also human dignity. And when we talk about the justice and also equality, we cannot separate sustainable development from the legal perspective, because development without justice will never be sustainable. So now I would like to share the legal perspective on how SDG are closely connected to children's rights. So basically, as a law student, I strongly believe that sustainable development cannot be separate from legal protections. There are three important legal principles that should guide our actions also. First, actually, equality before the law. That is means every child, regardless of their background and also gender and social status, nationality, deserve equal protections. And second, the best interest of a child. It means every policy, every programs, and every development strategy should prioritize children's well-being. And third, access to justice. So we have to, it means that children must not only be protected, but they are also must to be heard, because without legal protections, development cannot be sustainable, just what I said before. And without protecting children's rights, the sustainable development goals cannot truly achieve anyway. And protecting children's rights is not only the responsibility of government or our institutions anyway, it is also our responsibility as a young generation, as a young people. So the next questions become, what can we actually do as the youth to support these SDG or Sustainable Development Goals? So for me, sometimes maybe we think becoming a hero means doing something big, but actually change often begins with small actions. And we can be a hero by some level, such as first in the personal level, we can start by raising awareness, we can promote an inclusions, and then we can create safe digital spaces for children and young people. And then in the community level, we can also support education initiatives, and then we can participate in legal literacy program, and we can also empower vulnerable group and around us. For example, me myself, back in 2021, after COVID-19, I have been active as a volunteer English teacher and also advocating the children's rights, especially focus on educations and also their legal identity. And then third, at the policy level, we as a young people, we can also take part in advocacy. We can support child protection policies, and then we can promote equality before the law, and we can make sure youth voices are included in decision-making processes. Because youth voices are not too young to influence policy. They are too important to be ignored. However, real change becomes stronger when young people do not work alone. Real change happens when we work together across countries, across cultures, across communities. And this is exactly the spirit of United Youth in Actions. In and yeah, today we are gathered here from from a different countries, from a different culture, and from a different background. But we share one common missions. That mission is to create a better future through collaborations, through cross-country partnership, for example, through digital advocacy, through social innovations, and through our commitment to protecting human rights. And being a hero is not about the power anyway. Today, this is a webinar. It's not only a discussion space. It is a reminder for all of us, a reminder that every young person here has the capacity to create change. And this is why I truly believe that it is about responsibility, not about positions, but about contributions. And lastly, maybe through the Sustainable Development Goals, I want to remind all of you that every young person here has the opportunity to become a hero for humanity, especially for our target. So maybe that's all. Thank you so much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Gibran, for the insightful presentation. So, come from his background as a law student, it was very inspiring to see how Gibran highlight the role of youth as a today's change maker, not just a future leaders. So, the Gibran explanation is about children's and the importance of legal principles such as equality, protection, and access to justice will give us a deeper understanding about the challenges we face today. Thank you so much, Gibran. And moving forward, we have Rashi Kausik also joining us from India. So Rashi has earned national recognition through her achievement, including winning Swachh Bharat Art Excellence Award, being a first runner-up in a national television talent hunt, and most recently a winner of GLA Moon 2.0 2025. Sawas dia Rashi.
Hello, namaste, Kadinda.
How are you today, Rashi?
I am great. What about you?
I'm really great. I'm so excited. And are you ready to deliver your presentation, Rashi?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just a quick time reminder. Your presentation is allocated 10 minutes. Okay, Rashi, you may begin your presentation. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. By the way, am I audible and clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Is it visible? Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
There's some problem. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay, so hi everyone. Namaste. Hello. Hola, I'm Rashi from India and I'll be now presenting. So yeah, this is my picture, guys. This is me. And okay. So what we're gonna talk about in this whole presentation. Okay, so this is the table of content, as you can see. And I know y'all might be confused that what do I mean by past and future. Okay, so no, it's not something philosophical. I basically mean by that project 1 is the one I have did in the past, and project 2 is the one I'm planning on to do now, as I'm going to launch it in the future, which is why the name of my presentation is the name of the event. So let me move forward. Okay, so firstly, let's understand the vision of this whole presentation that we're going to talk about. Okay, so we know we're having 17 sustainable development goals, and they all are very important because this is the reason they're on the list, right? But of course, I cannot talk about all the sustainable development goals, just like how everybody is focusing on some of the goals. I'm also focusing on the 2 goals out of the whole 17 SDGs, and the 2 I'm focusing on are SDG 3, good health and well-being. SDG 4, quality education. So now let's talk about my projects. So my very first project is known as the education project. And I'm gonna be very clear at first, it's not like that I'm the one sole founder of this whole project. It was not like that one day I woke up and I was like, oh, you know what, we should really work over this thing. No. It was a part of my ASEAN Youth Organization Ambassador journey, where my team was given a task to create a project, just like how other teams were. And we had to create a project, and we have to think about basically an idea to create a social project, a social initiative in just a matter of 15 minutes. And this is what we came up with. The idea was by me. So as you can see, this is our Instagram page. And yes, we were a team of Indian and Indonesian students. We all came together to create our education project. Now I know you all must be wondering, what is it about? So yeah, it focuses on SDGs 3 and 4. When I talk about SDGs 3, I'm talking about mental health, not physical health. Now, to understand the reason why this project came into being, let me share a story with you. Imagine there is a guy who is really, really good at making music. He has all the great potential to become a great musician. But what happens is that the society and his parents and his peers just says that this is not a real career. You should go with some secure one, right? And so he gets into engineering, which he does not like at all. Now, other point of view. Imagine he got into music, but the educational institution in which he is studying is pressurizing him so much, is putting so much burden on his shoulder that he is now hating music. You remember how he used to love it once? He is now hating it. Now, after all of this, we can understand a thing that either be the societal pressure or the bad education system, be in any region of the world, we are suffering. We say that the future is in our hands, but then at the very end of the day, they're exploiting us. And this is why we came up with this project. Now, what is this and what we did till now? Well, we had an Instagram live, and there we shared our stories and what was actually happening in our regions, for instance, in India and Indonesia. And there, the good thing was that we had participants in the comment sections, and they even shared their stories through comments. We felt good that they are feeling relatable here too. Now, the future thingy is that we are also planning on to scale up our community as we'll grow together, so we can influence the institutions to actually listen us, for us to be heard. Now, let's talk about my future plan, the project I'm currently working on and is in process. It's called Vivicaverse, which has its own reason that why is it called Vivicaverse. Well, we means us, Wika means language in Tagalog, and verse is the short of universe, which stands for our language universe. And before you all be like, girl, why is the number of followers so low? It's so funny. Well, that's the thing. We're creating a community, which is why we need more language learners like y'all. So if you're into this, definitely follow, right? Now, the concept and the whole idea is by me, it's founded by me, and it's going to be led by me. And yes, this is something I was sleeping, I woke up, and I just thought about it that, you know what? I'm actually going through this. I can tell from my own experience as I'm somebody who is into learning languages. I'm learning Spanish, Portuguese, Indonesian. And what really happens that I also want to join some language learning communities, but they always ask for a fee. They're not really safe. And which is why I thought about why shouldn't I create a free language learning community for the people like me? And this is also the reason I created it. Because what happens is sometimes, yes, we're having the ability to pay, we can pay that amount because not all the platforms ask for a very big fee. But what happens is sometimes we cannot make an international payment, which can hinder us from learning the languages we want. And yes, I am one of them. This happened with me. Also, what happens that we're not really having an environment which supports us, which Vivigaverse is going to provide. And yes, we're gonna keep safety as our priority, because what happens on most of the platforms is that many creeps message us, text us. They're not really into language learning, they're into something else, which can be so uncomfortable for us that we just lose the interest in language learning. And also we also don't find environments which support us, which is why I am going to launch this project. So now to conclude, I would just say that just like me and just like all the speakers out here, the thing is that if you want to achieve the SDGs by 2030, youth leadership is very important, as the future is in the hand of the youth. And we gotta be united, because when there is community, there is more strength. And as I've written it, the goals are global, but the action is local. Join me in turning these visions into reality for all. And if you want to join me, let's connect. Thank you.
That was truly inspiring. Thank you, Rashi. It was very interesting to learn about your projects, especially through your journey as an Asian Youth Ambassador and your initiative Wewika First. Your effort in creating a community-based language exchange platform truly reflects how youth can take action to bridge global communication gaps. So once again, thank you, Rashi. Next, we have Rizal Agus Setiawan, also joining us from Indonesia. Hello, Rizal.
Hello.
Okay, Rizal, are you ready to the presentation?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, just a quick time reminder, Rizal, your presentation is outside the 10 minutes. So, Rizal, you may begin your presentation. The floor is yours.
Cek, cek. Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I would like to about the food waste crisis, the challenge of sustainable consumption in Indonesia. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rizal Agustiawan. I'm from a student at the Faculty of Economy and Business, Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Next. Okay. Allow me to begin with a simple question. Have we ever considered that the food we throw away every day is actually part of the global crisis? Yes. On this occasion, I wanted to share a persuasive message to raise awareness about reducing food waste for the sake of environmental sustainability. I'd like to invite all of us to take a closer look at an issue that we often that we often take for granted, but which actually part of but which actually has a huge impact. A single plate of united rice may seem trivial, but when millions of people do the something every day, the impacts become very serious for the environment, the economy, and food security. Next. Let's look at the factors. According to the UNIP Food Waste Index Report 2021, the world generates approximately 931 million tons of food waste annually. But comes from this is the situation based on report by BPNS in the Food Loss and Waste Indonesia Report 2021. Indonesia generates around 33 to 48 million tons of food waste every year. This amount is equivalent to 115 to 184 kilograms of food waste kilograms of food waste per person annually. Just imagine these numbers: tens of millions of tons that could be consumed instead end up in landfill. Even more ironic is that while food is being wasted, there are still Indonesians facing food insecurity. This is the situation we are facing today. On one hand, we are wasting food, but on the other, there are still people who lack access to adequate food. This problem isn't just about food. Even food is wasted. We are also squandering all the resources used to product in water, energy, land, and labor. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, food waste were considered a content. I will be the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world after China and United States. This means that the food we throw away also contributes to climate change. Next. This is why its issue is key focus of Sustainable Development Goals number 12, responsible consumption and production, which aims to reduce global food waste by half by 2030. But the question now is, what can we do as students? Big change. I'll start with small steps. We can start with simple habits. Take only what you need. First, take only what you need. As culinary business student, we can practice portion control. For example, small, medium, large portion options so that customer can take food according to their need. A second, reduce food waste. During food preparation, usable ingredients can be repurposed, such as vegetable scraps turned into a board so the aren't wasted. Third, educate consumers through our culinary business or social media. We can encourage the public with a simple message. A simple message: take only what you need and finish your food. Fourth, support local food by cooking and consuming local product in your daily life. Because ultimately, sustainability isn't just about technology or major policies. It's also about the small choices we make every day. Today, we make only reduce the amount of food we waste by offering serving, but if millions of young people do the same, we are creating massive change for the future of the earth. And before I conclude, let me share a simple reflection. If you can start, we appreciate the food on our plates, then we are also learning to appreciate the art that provides everything for us. Thank you for your attention, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Rizal, for the interesting presentation. It was very interesting because like we learned about the issue of food waste, especially how it has become a global crisis and also a major challenge in Indonesia. We truly appreciate your perspective and the solution you shared with us today. Now let us move on to our next speaker. We move to our international speaker. It is pleasure to welcome Muhammad Talha bin Hashim joining us from Pakistan. Talha is currently in his final semester of a Master of Business Administration at University Malaysia Pahang Al Sultan Abdullah. Talha also holds a Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt certification and has contributed to academic research through an international journal publication. Assalamualaikum Talha, are you here?
Walaikum Assalam.
Talha, how are you today?
I am good, and it is great to be back with the international seminar with the UAD again.
Thank you for your presence. So, are you ready for your presentation today?
Yes, I am just sharing my screen.
Okay, for information, your presentation is 10 minutes. So, you may begin your presentation. Talha, the floor is yours.
Is my screen all visible?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Salamat pagi. My name is Muhammad Talha bin Naseem, and I am representing Pakistan. It is honor to be a part of this session. The Unite Youth in Action. So first, let me give me a brief introduction. Hmm. Basically, I am an materials engineer and with experience in supply chain management and operations. Hmm. Supply chain and operations, and I am a final semester student of MBA with an international exposure, as mentioned earlier. And I have a work experience in the manufacturing and FMCG industries. So basically, my job, which I am working as a professional, it is very much linked to my to two of the SDGs, which I will be mentioning later. So basically, SDG 9 and SDG 12. So first is SDG 9. There is a term you can see is innovation. There are two terms, invention and innovation. Invention is basically making something new, like the telephone was invented. And this is innovation. The cell phones we have, like this, it is a cell phone. So the world is going from invention side to innovation because inventions has already been done at a maximum extent. So basically, we are focusing on innovation, and what my daily life is like in the industrial environment. I worked on improving production efficiency by focusing on better utilization of raw materials and particularly scrap, and by identifying areas where downtime could be reduced. These improvements helped make production process more reliable and continuous, ultimately increasing output. In addition, I analyzed supply chain systems in the beverage sector to identify inefficiencies in planning and coordination. These efforts were aimed at making existing systems smarter and more efficient. This made me realize that innovation is not always being creating new things. It is about improving things what were already existed. Second was the SDG, which I am closely linked, is SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. At the same time, my work strongly contributed to responsible consumption and production. By improving scrap management, I was able to minimize material waste and ensure better use of available resources. Reducing downtime also meant avoiding unnecessary energy and operational losses in supply chain analysis. I focused on identifying inefficiencies that led to excess cost and resource misallocation. All of this reflects a simple idea to achieve a better results with the core of sustainability. So basically, my focus, which I am going to tell, is that SDGs are a part of our daily life. SDGs were developed in back in I guess 2015 or 2016. I guess 2015 they were made, and in 2016 they were launched. They were basically launched to protect the earth and give our offspring a better world to live in. For these goals, you don't need to be a part of any organization, or you don't need any endorsement like from this university that you have made this project. So basically, you are already playing a part in your daily life to contribute to the SDGs. Let's see how. So let be a little bit. I have list down all the works we are doing in our daily lives and how they are contributing to each specific SDGs. Like when we support someone in need or donate or create opportunities for others, we are contributing to ending poverty and reducing hunger. When we take care of our health and manage stress and help others in difficult situations, we are supporting well-being, which is SDG 3. And every time we learn something new, improve our skills or our knowledge, and we are basically contributing to the quality education. Respecting women in daily interaction, supporting equal opportunities, challenging in stereotypes. Basically, this is linked to SDG 5, gender equality. In our daily lives, when we avoid wasting water and maintaining cleanliness and following basic hygiene, this is basically we are supporting clean water and sanitation. The next are uh, every time when I leave my room, I used to, not me, even everyone, the audience, they basically, when they get out of their room and if the room is empty, they shut down the lights. Basically, you are contributing to SDG 7, which is affordable and clean energy. Like you are basically saving the energy. It is also a goal. And when we develop our skills and support fair businesses, this is basically SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. And when we think better ways to solve problems and improve systems or use technology effectively, we are contributing to the industry. And when we reduce waste, reuse materials, and make conscious decisions about what we consume, we are directly supporting responsible consumption and production. Even small actions, very small actions like using public transport, many of use cab and many of them use public transport. This using the use of public transport is basically you are working on the climate action, which is also an SDG. When we avoid plastic use and keep our surrounding clean, we help protect we protect life below water and above the land, like planting trees and protecting the animals and supporting eco-friendly products. And finally, when we collaborate and share ideas, like I am doing right now with you all, and um, this is basically I am collaborating with you, and it is a sort of partnership. So basically, it is SDG 17 which I am contributing towards you. So basically, what we are not SDGs were already existed. We just gave the name to each SDG, and we are not starting from the zero. We are starting from our experience. So yeah, this is very necessary, and we for to protect our motherland, we have to work individually and collectively to be a part of this SDG. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Talha, for that insightful presentation. It was very interesting to learn how workplace innovation and operational improvement can contribute to supporting the SDGs, especially SDGs 9 and SDGs 20. Your example from manufacturing and supply chain clearly show that even small improvement in daily practice can help reduce waste, improve efficiency, and create a positive impact on the environment. So let us continue with our next speaker from Indonesia. Please join me in welcoming Faiza Fatih Izana. Hello, Faiza. Faiza, are you here?
Okay, halo Kak.
Okay, Faiza. Are you ready to begin your presentation?
Okay, already.
Okay, for information, your presentation is 10 minutes. So you may begin your presentation. Faiza, the floor is yours.
Bisa nggak bisa nggak? Coba katanya kirim ke siapa gitu? Minta kirim. Belum siapa yang belum?
Okay, it seems we are experiencing a slight technical issue. No worries, we'll just take a moment while waiting for Faiza to reconnect. So while we are waiting, Faiza is also a student from Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Will bring another valuable perspective to today's discussion. Oh, because Faiza, I think there's a technical issue, so we're jump into our next speaker. So will be Dimas Ananda Pangestu from Indonesia. Dimas is also a student from Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Dimas is an accomplished student recognized as the first place winner in the basic photography competition organized by Dimawa UAD and also a recipient of the BEM Impact Grant 2025. Hello Dimas,
Halo Kak Dilia,
how are you today?
I am fine.
Okay, Dimas, are you ready to deliver your presentation today?
Ready?
Okay, for information, your presentation is 10 minutes. So you may begin your presentation. Dimas, the floor is yours.
Okay, I am ready. Beginning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I am here story and presentation about unlocking potential breaking the silence of inequality. Introduce myself. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dimas Ananda Pangestu. I am a student of Indonesian Language and Literature Education at Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Today, I want to share a story about unlocking potential and breaking the silence of inequality. What is SDGs? The Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs, Agenda 2030 are a set of 17 interrelated global goals established by the United Nations in 2015 to create a better, more sustainable future for all by 2030. They address global challenges, including poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, and peace. One of SDGs it is reduce inequality. Reduce inequality means making the world fair for everyone. Introduce. Please close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you want to enter a door, but it's locked. It is not because you don't have the key. It is because the wall thinks you don't belong inside. For many people with disabilities, this is our reality every day. But I am here to tell you the lock is breaking. I am holding the hammer to breaking. Today, we'll talk about SDGs point 10, which is about reduce inequality. We need to change how the world sees us. data and fact. We often talk about SDGs point 10, but we must look at the real numbers. According to the World Health Organization, over 1 billion people live with a disability. This means that 15% of the global population lives with some form of disability. It is a very large group of people. We are part of the world diversity. In understanding these numbers helps us realize why equality is so important. Disability in Indonesia. In our country, Indonesia, the data show there are approximately 22.9 million people with disabilities. A large portion of them are people with physical disability or disabilities themselves. We are often hidden from society. We are often told to stay quiet, but we must remember one thing: equality is not a gift, it is a right for every human being. Showing power, not pity. Being a person with a physical disability did not me from making an impact. I am one to be a role models for together. Leadership is not about physical perfection. It is about strength of your mind and kindness of your heart. Scouting without limits. I have proof that physical limits are not barrier to success. I am successfully complete the Conscious Mile Dasar or KMD Pramuka. This training was a big challenge, but I did it. I proved that a Scott spirit is about leading and serving others. My physique condition did not stop my spirit. If I can lead in scouting, we can lead in any field. Visibility and real action. Visibility is very important for us. My story was featured on the Commodity Scientech cover recently. This highlights that disability is actually a part of our national excellence. We have talents that the world needs to see. Tom berdampak. We take real action every day. We prove that we can create change when we work together. Message to work to my fellow student: inequality ends with when we start saying ability instead of disability. We must change our perspective. To my friends with disabilities, your child or your class are not your limits. They too do hold your back. Think of them as your wings to fly and reach your dreams. Let's build a world where equality is a reality for everyone. Thanks for uh, thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Such an inspiring presentation, Dimas. Thank you so much. Your message about unlocking potential and addressing inequality, especially for people with disabilities, is truly meaningful. It reminds us that inclusion is not only about awareness but also about creating equality access and opportunities for everyone. We also appreciate how your background as a scout reflects strong values of leadership, empathy, and social responsibility, which align closely with your message today. Once again, thank you, Dimas. Now, let us hear from our international speaker, Christian Alejandro Cuadra Reyes from El Salvador. He is also a finalist of Startup Desafio Naranja 2025 and a graduate the Separate Business Program, a 3-year scholarship focused on English, computer science, and values education. In addition, he achieved first place in a public speaking contest at Superate Centro Grupo Q. Hola, Christian. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes. Okay, Christian, how are you today?
I'm really good. I'm really excited and really happy to be with you. I don't know if you can see my screen right now.
Okay, Christian, are you ready to deliver your presentation?
Yes, can you check if my presentation is being shared, please?
Yes. Yes, Christian.
Okay.
And for information, your presentation is 10 minutes. So, Christian, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So, hello, my name is Cristian Cuadra. I'm from El Salvador and I'm really excited to be with you. So, I would like to start telling more about myself. And I'm Christian Cuadra. I'm 18 years old and I'm from El Salvador. You know, El Salvador is located in Central America. We are a small country, but full of friendly people, smiling people, and we're also hoping for you to visit us one day. I'm an active member of the Scout Group Teacher Lencas here in El Salvador, and I'm a graduate of the program Empresarial Superate. It was a scholarship where I learned English, IT, and values. Today, I'm really glad to share you about one of my interest topics that is the SDGs. And all this started when last year I was thinking about the youth in my community, the youth in my country, and how we're still lacking of those youth role models to impact our community, impact our new generations. So I was thinking about my house. I was thinking about how I grew up. And I want to tell you that I grew up with my grandmother, my mom, and my two aunts. So I was like constantly looking for opportunities for them in a way that I can say thank you to them for all the things that they gave me. And I want to mention that gender based violence in Latin America between 63% and 76% of women have experienced some form of gender based violence at some point in their lives. And I was talking to my family about that, and they faced that situation. So I was thinking how I, as a man, can help more women in this field. So that's why I focus on the SDG number 5. But what's the problem we face? I would like to read you that gender inequality remains a persisting issue in El Salvador, limiting opportunities for women in education, leadership, and economic participation. Cultural norms and lack of awareness continue to reinforce barriers, affect their full development, inclusion in society. This is seen every single day in our communities, and we as men have this force to make a change because we already know that some women or that all women are facing or are fighting for these rights, are facing for these problems, are facing these inequalities. But if we are together as men, supporting women, supporting the women in our houses, we can do a bigger impact. So I created an initiative that it's called Euphonia. Euphonia was founded to use communication as a tool for change. We started giving workshops about communication and public speaking skills for young people, but then with this new idea, we started giving workshops to men about human rights, women rights, and the new ways of masculinity. Because many men are committing, as I mentioned before, some bad things against women. So when we are giving these workshops as men, we are getting close to them and we're telling them that, hey, this thing that you're doing, this bad word that you said to your girlfriend, to your mother, to a woman is bad and you can correct it. And there are rights for them, there are rights for the human, there are rights for the women, and if you know them, you're going to respect them. You're going to accept them. And I want to tell you that it's not easy. We have the support of the Corte Suprema de Justicia from El Salvador, that is like a law institution that is helping people that are committing these uh, things against women. So we are receiving the support to make the workshops. But these men are like, hey, I don't have the fault for this situation. uh, the government has the fault, the women has the fault, or the environment has the fault. But I, as a man, I don't have the fault at all. So we are trying to make this man to understand that we're not looking for someone to be uh, with the responsibility of this fault. We are looking for opportunities of change in their mind that, okay, I, as a man, I can do something, and a woman can do it as well. And as I, as a man, have rights, a woman also have rights. And it's a really difficult situation at the beginning because on some countries of Latin America, the religion is really uh, focused on making the men superior to the woman. So it's really difficult to work and change and break those thoughts and create new ones and teach these men that we, men and women, have the same rights. But I'm really glad that these men, after the sessions, after the workshops, are new men that can teach their sons, that can teach their friends that women have the same rights, that women can be respected, can be accepted, and can be part of our community without any prejudice that can be in their minds. And the impact we're making is, as I told you, FANIA was founded in 2025, and we're using this communication as a tool for change. And through workshops, we're giving these instructions to men, and it was not easy, but we are doing our best. Now, we are continuing giving this message to other young people that you can create your own project, you can create your own initiative. Right now, I'm focusing on the SDG number 5, but probably next year, on next month, I'm gonna have a new idea and I'm gonna create it. But the main focus that I'm here today is to demonstrate to other young people in my community, in my country, that we as youth, we have the ability to create, we have the ability to impact, and we have the tools to do it. You know, I really admire where people from all over the world are so young and are creating amazing things. I want that for my country as well. So I want to say that I admire you, and I really would like to make that impact as you are doing it. And I really would like to inspire more young people to create more projects and to be the best version of themselves for their communities, for our countries. And I would like to leave you with this quote that it says, I truly believe the only way we can create a global peace is through not only educating our minds, but our hearts and our souls. And I really like this quote from Malala Yousafzai. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here and so glad to hear you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christian, for your inspiring presentation. It's also very interesting to see that both Christian and Dimas share a passion for scouting, as we are earlier from Christian through his initiative Euphonia, and now from this connection truly show us how youth from different backgrounds and countries can be united by shared values and a common goal to create a positive change in society. And we will jump into our previous speaker, Faiza. Faiza, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Faiza, you may begin your presentation. Faiza, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hello everyone. Good morning. Thank you for your time you have give me and in this occasion I will discuss how we as students can support SDGs number 2 and reading stunting. I will give one question and have we ever considered what this country will be like if it were led by someone suffering from stunting simply due to inadequate nutrition intake? And before, let introduce myself. My name is Faiza Mati Isyana, and I'm from food service industry study program and from the economic and business in Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. And did you know? Did you know? From the WHO, 115.2 million children under 5 years of age were too short for their HR standing, and 14.8 million were too thin for their height wasting, and overhead in the world of the 35.5 million were too heavy for their height. And in Indonesian, uh, that currently progress in 2025, the standing rate is projected to decrease from 20.1% to 90.8%. And the target a future reduction to 19.8% and decrease of about 1.2%. And the final goals in 2029 aims to for a target of 14.2%. Okay, that's this that can done to handle cases of stunting as students is number one is the awareness. We're going to make people aware to the importance of nutrition for their children, and then this important to understand that stunting is not just about being short. It is actually about the brain. When a child is stunning, their brain doesn't grow perfect, and this make it hard for them to concert and focus in the school. In the long run, this child will have a lower IQ and find it difficult to learn new skill, and this means that they will face to
competitiveness in the future job market, make it harder for them to success in the life. And then a direct action about the taking advance of campus program such as community serve program KKN or student organization. I get that from the scan that we can help revitalize at or the posyandu student can help health workers digitalize data to make sure children's grow it recorded accurately. And we can hold healthy cooking demos. Let's show mothers how to make nutritious baby food or the MPSC. Use cheap local ingredients and like egg and then catfish or chicken lives instead of just giving them instant provide or rice with salt. And healthy student can also start a faster sibling program to personally monitor at risk families. And then can academic contribute and like the use knowledge from the lecture material talk, and then independent food security from the stunting is related to access to nutrition food, because that nutrition food can protect that we can touch family about urban farming or the bandember, and grow fish and vegetable in a side bucket, and this ensure they have a free source of protein and vitamin right in the backyard. And we can also start a food bank to collection surplus food and share it with families in need. And the last is collaborate with relevant patients who are able to support this stunting case. And finally, we must focus and advocate. Okay, and student should monitor that the village fund or the dana desa, or we must ensure that a portion of the money is used for healthy and sanitation, not just for building roads. And we can also join the MBKM program in Indonesian is like the Campus Mengajar to bring nutrition education to remote areas. Oh, before is done a presentation, and then this consequently in the future that stunting, what is the consequently that standing in the world. And number one is difficult constraining, which is that result in low human resource competitiveness, so that children can competitive in the world on the country. And the next weakness immune system can making individuals more susceptible to illness. That because the child that didn't get enough nutrition, their immune system is low, and result they become vulnerable to decrease like dirty or the pneumonia. And when a start child gets sick, their body has to use all its energy to fight the illness and interest to of growing. This creates a dangerous cycle where being sick makes the stunting even worse. And then high risks of chronic disease in the future, because the high risk of developing no communication disease such as diabetes, obesity, and heart disease in old age. Uh, okay, that so we can all start supporting SDGs number 2 right now, and engineering student can help with clean water system. Economic student can help improve family economical, and communication student can disseminate nutrition information. And the key is cross-disciplinary collaboration. Take a small step in today. Can start by educating your immediate circle such as family or neighbors, that standing is real and the permanent ones is occurs and highly preventable. So enough from me, and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Faiza, for the great presentation. It was very meaningful to learn about your focus on zero hunger and zero stunting and how a collaboration between students and can contribute to achieving these goals by 2029. And we truly appreciate your dedication and the impact about the zero stunting. And okay, everyone, it's really interesting to see all of the presentation. And now we will move on to the question and answer session. So for participants who would like to ask question, you may do so in two ways. So the first one, you can either raise your hand in the Zoom participant to ask your question directly, or submit your question in the chat box and kindly mention your name, country, and also indicate which speaker your question is directed to. So while we're waiting for others to ask a question, I will read a question from the registration. Question is from Isna Rodiana, is an English language education study program from Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. And I think this question is closely related to Rashi presentation. Rashi, will you like to respond?
Could you repeat that question again?
Yeah, okay. So the question is about what is your response if education is still hampered by the economy? Yeah, in this economy, people are forced to not be able to get out of the difficult zone of life and have to give up opportunity to pursue education. So for example, like many people sacrifice their ability opportunities to go to college or school in order to work for their families or even to send their siblings to school.
Okay, so is it a question related to like the students who are not having financial resources? How are they going to pursue education, if I'm getting it right? Because I cannot, yeah, the audio is not so clear actually to me.
Yeah, Rashi, it's about like how the economy is impact for the education.
Okay, so I believe there are scholarships by government of just not like one's country, but like many different countries and institutions, which can help students pursue education even while having a lack of financial resources, because they believe that if some student is having a talent to, and is having a lot of potential, so the resources don't matter so much. So yeah, things can be still better. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so because like this question is from the previous registration form, Rashi. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think yes, scholarship will help about support the education, especially in the student in the like um, difficult zone of life in like several area. And then yep, it's feel free to all of you guys in the Zoom meeting to ask a question directly. You can raise your hand or write it in the chat box. And okay, I will read like some question. I think it's related to Talha. Talha, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so this question is from Angga Pranata. He's from a student communication in Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. So the question is about how can young people effectively leverage technology to create sustainable, scalable solution that align with the SDGs, especially in developing countries such as Indonesia, that many cases shouldn't happen, and until now the policymaker can fix it. For example, like cybercrime, scam, ethic issue, misuse AI, fintech, and etc.
So basically, the biggest problem, even in Pakistan, is the scams that are happening via cell phone and sending OTPs and people sharing. So basically, most of the students must have to be aware that if any link or OTP is sent towards on SMS or even WhatsApp, so they must be careful regarding opening those. So in sort of SDG, basically, we are helping others that we do not uh, basically in sort of SDG, the 17, I guess, in partnerships that we are guiding. Wait, let me check all the SDGs list. Which one is closely linked? The SDG 7, the affordable and clean energy. We can use that, and basically quality education, the SDG 4 is also in there, as well as basically these two. So for the awareness, we can handle these situations. uh, Basically for technology, it is mainly like content writing, uh, these sort of things, not specifically in technology, because technology is already installed, so only we have to use it. We can't innovate that much the equipments.
Okay, thank you, Talha, for the answer. And then we're still waiting for all of you guys, the participant in the Zoom meeting, to ask a question directly or write it in the chat. Okay, while we are waiting, I think I want to ask a question to Haisa. Haisa, are you still in here? I think it's midnight there.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, Raisa, I'm really curious about about your project routine. It's like what inspired you to create the routine beside like of the global issue?
I would say maybe my family background, because in Brazil we have this endemic biome that it's called Caatinga, and one of its main characteristics is the drought seasons. So it's really common for some periods of like some moments of the year it's really hot and there is almost no rain, and part of my family lives in a city that it's surrounded by this specific biome. So doing this, they face a lot, they struggle a lot with heat stress and with all of those elements I mentioned earlier. So when I was researching to develop my capstone project and I saw that I would be able to work with something related to global warming, I just thought it was, besides being something that affects a lot of people in different communities, so I would be able to make a big difference. It was also something that related to my family personal journey. So it felt really intimate and really connected to who I am and the place I was born. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I decided to create routine as well.
Wow, thank you so much, Haisa. That's like inspiring idea for like making the project routine. And then I will continue the question. I think this is for Gibran. So, Gibran, you highlight that about you mentioned about like the important legal principles such as equality and access to justice, and I wanted to ask you about your opinion. In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges in applying this principle in real life?
Thank you, Karina, for the question. So we all know that there is some legal principles such as equality before the law, access to justice. But in our society, there is also a stigma and also mindset that is actually dangerous and be a challenge for us to actually create a better future and also uh, to release the sustainable development goals, especially to achieve target number 4, that is quality of educations. So maybe the biggest challenge for me to achieve the target SDG number 4 is actually the mindset that actually growing from the society. Therefore, from my project, from my experiences, I want to improve and I want to change the mindset and also the the culture that the society have in there so that they can actually grow into a better person that having a good mindset and also having a good literacy, especially about the law itself.
Okay, thank you so much, Gibran. And in the chat, I saw that Roman have a question. Is from Richard. So the question is, it's interesting discussion, especially about SDGs. But I'm curious to know SDG as 12, what the biggest urgency we have right now, and what should youth generation see in this case, especially as a student, because all SDGs is interesting, but I want to know about point 12.
So it's for me. Is it for me the question? Is it for me, right? Or
Yes, Rahman.
okay. So first thing first about the SDG is actually a very complex. First thing first, when you want to talk about SDGs, then you have to learn about it first. What's the main purpose and also what is the SDGs itself? Because SDG has a 17 point of it and stages and also perspective. And also, for example, in SDGs 12, which is responsible consumption, it means you are knowing the urgency about you are being responsible to the things that you are wearing, to the things that you are consume in your daily life. Because if you are wanted to do something in your daily life, that means you are also going to be doing something for a long time. So if you are talking about the consuming, then at this time we are talking about the problems, which is the environment and also the waste and also everything. So how you could, as a students, as a young generations, you are educate yourself because the first thing first that you have to do is educate yourself, and then after that you could at least educate the people around. If you are have enough education, have you enough the knowledge to yourself, then you could spread it to the surrounding so that you're not only knowing about the SDGs itself, but also you are applying it and also you are contributing it to the society, to the local communities, and also at the other points, you are proud to say that you are, as a young generation, you are being the responsible generations for the future, and also um, support the SDGs points. I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you so much, Rahman, for the answer. And then I would like to ask the question for Christian. Christian, Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry for have my
Mhm.
camera enabled, but I have been with a mistake here.
Okay, I'm want to ask you a question about like um, okay, you tell us about like the gender equality. So I want to ask you about how do you engage young men to become more aware and involved in promoting gender equality?
That's a nice question because I was thinking the same when I started. So last month, with my classmate, we received like a workshop about it, and we
Mhm.
understood that when men are talking about women's right for other men, they feel more comfortable with the idea. Because it's more common for a woman to talk about women rights for men, but they reject the idea because they say, okay, a woman is teaching me about this topic. But when a man or a boy or a person from the same gender is talking about a topic that sometimes can be difficult to talk about it, the men feel comfortable and they accept the idea, they accept the learning, and they try to give it a chance. So that's what I learned because young men often grow up in environments where gender roles are deeply normalized. So the first step is create this environment where men can talk with other men about these topics. And then the idea can be replicated in other spaces. As I told you before, when men receive these workshops, they can after go to their houses and talk with their sons, talk with their cousins, with their brothers, and that's the way that we multiply this effect.
Okay, thank you so much, Christian, for the answer. And then I will continue to read the question from the chat. So this question is for Gibran from Brian Anderson. So far, as an outstanding student, what are your thoughts on quality and education issues in Indonesia, and how can you contribute to the SDGs?
Okay, thank you so much for Adina for the questions again. So as one of the most outstanding student in my university, I believe that the education is not only about educating something to other people, but it is about equality, about quality, and also about equality and also about the quality. Therefore, it is also talking about the IQ or or intellectual intelligence, and then AQ, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and also physical intelligence. Therefore, there are so many aspects to actually create our educations field into a better educations. But for me, okay, okay, to contribute more to our educations, I think it can start from small things that just like Mother Teresa said, like we can uh, we cannot do a big thing, but but we always can do small things with great love. So we can contribute to our society, especially in the field of educations, by small things such as we can spread our knowledge to surround us. Anything. What we have, we can educate other people, and we can also inspire other. Maybe that's my question, my answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Gibran. So I think there is no any question in the Zoom meeting or the chat. So I want to say thank you guys for the great presentation. And today's session has shown us that although we come from different countries, backgrounds, and perspectives, we are united by one common goal to create a better and more sustainable future. Through all the ideas, innovation, and initiatives shared today, we can clearly see that youth are not only the future but also the drivers of change. And let this discussion not end here, but become a starting point for real action in our communities. And I want to say thank you to all the incredible speaker for sharing your knowledge, inspiring idea with us, and of course, thank you to all the participants. It has been a great honor for me to moderate this session. Now I would like to hand the session back to Master of Ceremony. I'm Dinda Florencia. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you so much for Ms. Dinda for guiding such as insightful and engaging sessions. And of course, a big appreciation to all of our amazing speakers for sharing their valuable and perspective today. I believe we all have gained new insight, fresh ideas, and inspirations to take part in creating solution for challenges. Before we officially close this webinar, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of the participants for your enthusiasm and active participations. I truly hope that today's sessions has been meaningful and beneficial for all of you. And let's remember that even small actions can create a big impact when we do it together. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep taking actions. Lastly, I, Saskia Putri Medina, as the Master of Ceremony, would like to apologize for any mistakes during the sessions. Thank you very much for your attentions and participations. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you in our next inspiring event. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Reminder for the participants, you can fill the attendance list on the chat, and then after that you can leave the Zoom meeting. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Hello guys, you may leave the Zoom meeting, okay? So the meeting is already over. Thanks for the participation ya.